To be honest, my student teaching experience was pretty awful. My advisor was not very supportive, and my lead teacher also was not supportive. I have a whole entire video on this channel talking about things I experienced when I was student teaching. The good news is, even though I had a horrible student teaching experience, I was able to find certain things in order to help me be successful, and there are things I actually wish I would have done to be more successful during that time. So hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and some things that actually worked for me. Hello and welcome to Learn with Jess. I am Jessica and I am a former public education school teacher, and I am here to help you navigate student teaching. When I was completing my clinical hours in mental health counseling, one thing that we included in every treatment plan is a support system. There are multiple studies shown that having a support system is really crucial for success. So when I was doing my student teaching, I did not have a strong support system through my advisor or my lead teacher. My lead teacher basically told me she's busy, she doesn't have extra time after school or on the weekends, and she literally just would quickly show me her lesson plan. I was never even really able to touch it or really look at it. And then my advisor also was not very helpful. So I ended up taking it upon myself to reach out to another teacher who I had subbed for in the past. And I really didn't know her on a super personal level, but I thought, hey, I might as well reach out to her. I love the way she managed her classroom, and it wouldn't, even if she tells me no, at least I tried. Luckily and thankfully, if it was not for Anna, I would have not made it through student teaching. I truly believe that. She spent the time with me. She had, I think her baby was 5 or 6 months, but she spent every weekend with me lesson planning for a while. And I remember venting to her. I remember crying to her, and she was just truly an amazing woman. Did I have my fiance at that time? Yes, I did have family, but the extent to which they can really understand what I'm going through is not the same as a teacher. If you are struggling in student teaching, try to find somebody who you can vent to, somebody who you can have a support system with. I even reached out to my other classmates who were doing student teaching, and we had a group chat. And it also made me realize my advisor was telling them to withdraw from the program as well. It was not just towards me. So this also made me stop taking things so personal. So really, setting up a support system is the number one thing you can do to help you survive student teaching. So the second thing that I would encourage you to do that I did not do very well is set boundaries. I overworked, I loaded myself up, I thought every lesson had to be this amazing, fantastic lesson. And that is great. I mean, if you want to shoot for great lessons once a week, but it's not realistic that every single one of your lessons is going to be fantastic. Because when you get your own classroom, that's not realistic either. A simple step-by-step lesson is just as effective sometimes. I also didn't set boundaries for my own hours. I stayed late, I worked weekends, and this resulted in anxiety and panic attacks and was not healthy. So I would encourage you definitely set boundaries. I watched other people's student teaching experiences here on YouTube, and a lot of them say they've planned other teachers' lessons, they were planning all these lessons, and at the end of the day, right now there's such a teacher shortage, it's best to just stick up for yourself and set boundaries, because in the end, your mental health is going to suffer, and that's why 40 to 50% of teachers have burnout within the first 5 years. So definitely finding ways to set boundaries. If you struggle with setting boundaries, I highly would encourage therapy, working with somebody that can help you. I was also someone who did not do well with setting boundaries, and it definitely was a learning curve, but I promise you it can be done, and your mental health will thank you for this later. The third thing that is also equally important is to advocate for yourself. My advisor at the time was very critical of almost everything I did, and so I ended up started keeping track of everything. I bought a binder and I wrote notes of everything I was doing. If I did small group instruction, I had notes from that day, and I kept this binder with me all day. So when it came time to meet with my advisor and she was critiquing something, I can show, okay, yes, you're right, I should be doing small group. Here is my data to show this is how I do small group. So when I'm advocating for myself, she was able to see that I'm actually taking her feedback and I am doing what she asked of me. This is also helpful if you are looking to get a teaching position. You can put that data into your portfolio to show what you do as a teacher, to show you differentiate, to show you know how to teach small group, to show you know how to make accommodations for your students. So advocating for yourself is really important, so that way you can actually prove that you are doing the things you need to be doing during your student teaching. This also helped me with my grade. At the end, we met together with my lead teacher and my advisor, and they all had to give me a grade, and I was able to advocate why I thought what my grade should be. If I didn't keep my binder and I didn't have all this data and I didn't advocate for myself, I probably would have been in a worse position after my student teaching. So keeping that binder and that data also helped me once I was done with student teaching to look back on different things that were working and things that were not working. So it actually really helped me in the long run. The fourth thing that I would encourage you to do during student teaching survival is to take all the feedback you can. Sometimes it's overwhelming just because there's so many things you are told. I had to have a pre-assessment for every lesson. I had to go observe teachers and fill out a form. And all of these things were somewhat helpful. There was a lot of things that I actually took when I became a teacher and still used, and there was some things that I didn't. So instead of trying to argue or have a negative viewpoint, I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna do it and see how it goes. That's all you can do. There definitely is a difference between advocating and arguing. So sometimes it can be really hard to find that middle ground. But a lot of things I just learned to let go. Like when my advisor was emailing me at 8 p.m. at night, making me change my whole entire lesson plan, I would just be like, great, I'm going to look over this tomorrow and I will fix those things. Sometimes spending that energy trying to prove your point or fight back is just not worth it in the end. I could be spending my energy elsewhere. So I highly would encourage you, just take the feedback, do what you can with it, don't take it personal. Realistically, you cannot implement everything into your classroom you're told within one day, and it takes time. So really just be easy on yourself and decide what you want to spend your energy on. And if all else fails, know that you are resilient. If you are going into teaching, it's because you have a huge heart. You're going to pour your heart and soul into these students, and know that you are going to have a lot of ups and downs, and you are going to make a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes my first couple years, but all you can do is learn from that and move forward. You're gonna make it through. Again, go into this knowing that you are learning. Teaching is extremely challenging. They say a teacher makes up to 1,500 decisions a day. That is true. So know that it is okay if you don't have an answer in that moment, and know when you go home in the evening to rest. Take that time for yourself. I really believe your mental health needs to be your number one priority, because you cannot be an effective teacher if you are burnt out, you're drained, you're tired, you're overwhelmed. So it's always important, again, to have those boundaries, speak up for yourself, and be honest. Well, that is all the advice I have for you. I wish you much luck on your student teaching journey. It's not easy, but you made it this far, so really you should be proud of yourself in this moment. Let me know in the comments what are some things you are already doing and what are some things that you want to work on. And of course, if you still need help planning lessons, I do have a Teacher Pay Teacher shop, and I have lots of free resources in there. And I also have a whole presentation on how to either plan a math or a reading lesson that you can watch after this. Well, I hope you have a beautiful day. Take care of yourself and your mental health, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.